Okay guys, this market don't finally hit. This market don't finally hit TPU. No be lie. Oh yeah, now move go into the market. Move see wetin be happen. Alright, if you are new to my channel, you are welcome. This is Kelly BTC. This market, I gave this signal that this market is going to buy up to this up point. So as you can see, this market has successfully buy to the level that I say that market will definitely buy to. So before we dive into today's class, I'll show you now something. You see this one this one now the guardians. That be this one. I call this one like this one now the side chick. You get the men also be this one. This one now a side chick. See this one a side chick. Now who know this one? I no go talk much. I leave am for una. See. So alright. Waiting happen for here now. You remember I dropped a signal that was I did a face video on this chart. On this, remember this jump 75. I dropped a video on that should be like days ago. That was on Sunday, yeah. It was on that is like 2 days ago. That was when market was here. As you guys can see, remember the video is still there. So you can check it out. You see the video is still there. So you can see what happened in the market. I definitely drop a signal that this market will definitely buy from here. That this where this market is buying to. So today's date? Today is as you can see, today's date is December 2nd. As you can see, 2nd of December. So it takes actually 2 days. As you can see, the time now is night. The time I'm recording this video is night. So that is today's date. Today is 2nd. So it actually takes 2 days for this market to complete, because I said that market will definitely buy up to this level. So this is what happened. I'm going to explain everything right here in this video. So remember, this is where we got our break of structure. Remember, what we are trading is SMC strategy. So all this concept, what happened is actually SMC idea that gave us the signal that this market is actually going to buy up to this level. So this is what happened. Let me just explain the market to maybe people that are joining us new, so that they will catch up, because this is where market was and I gave a signal and the market is paying out. I even entered a trade here. There was another trade I entered for this second. You can see there was this one. When I dropped this signal, it was only this first trade. I took another second trade here. I'll show you guys. If you check this top, this up here, I will pin the picture, because I took a screenshot. So a picture when I enter for another trade here, that was when I enter for the second trade. The second week after getting my conference, everything confirmed, and now market now moves successfully to the top. As you can see, market moves successfully to the top. So what was the idea? What was the concept? What was the knowledge behind this market? See, this is the knowledge. This is what happened. Remember, we analyze our market from the left to the right. From the left to the right. So what first thing first you need to identify in the SMC idea, the SMC concept strategy. First thing first you need to identify is your break of structure. After you identify your break of structure, you identify your gap. Because when market break a structure, it will leave a gap. So first thing you need to identify first is your break of structure. As you can see at this level, we identify our break of structure. As you can see, this market was buying very heavily. You will not see any sell candle like forming below all this buy. So any sell candle you are seeing is not below any buy candle. So it's a very strong buy. See, it's in a 30-minute time frame. Everything we are reading from one time frame. So it was a very straight long buy to this level before market. So this was actually a pullback, because when market break a structure, this was a gap. So we marked this gap. This was the last low point. This was the last order block, like the last sell that leads to that buy that break the structure. So this was the gap. This was like the other block, and this was the last low point. So this is always 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 points you need to pay attention to, that you need to identify first. Then you wait for market to completely pull back to fill in the gap. Then when market is filling gap, you need to pay attention and see, because market can fill gap and reverse. Market can reverse from gap, it can reverse from the other block, it can also reverse from the last low point. But as you can see in this level, it's reversed from the last low point. There are some scenarios that market reverse from gap, there are some scenarios that market reverse from this other block. So you just need to pay attention each time market gets to each of these zones, you understand? So that is actually, so if you can see from this fair value gap, so the way market dip into this fair value gap, you cannot even expect market to buy again from this level. Sure, you understand? So you actually ignore, just understand that market has completely filled in this gap. So is it now going to reverse from the other block? This is where market gets to the other block, as you can see. Now, when market dropped to the other block, it pulled up a little. As you can see, there was a reaction. Market pulled up a little to this point, but it was unable to buy because the sell was too strong, as you can see. So that's why market dropped back. That was when market finally dropped back, and there was no confirmation, like there was no market shift for you to say, okay, let me enter and buy. Sure, you get. So you need to get confirmation before you just enter, knowing the fact that, okay, you need to get confirmation before you enter and buy. So this is where market finally got into our low point. You get that low point. That from this low point now was when market finally buy and pull up and break that high. So this was where we get our market shift. You can actually call it a market shift or a change of character. This actually signify that this sell is over, because this was the last low point that market dropped. Again, so market buying and shifting, so it should tell you that this sell is over. Remember, we are trading SMC, so this was the break of structure, this was the gap, this was the last low. So market has gotten to our last low, so you should be expecting market to buy to continue the up movement. So that was the idea, that was the concept behind the market. So now what happened? How did you now enter, knowing the fact that, okay, you will now market will buy? How did you trade? How did you enter? Now this is where, as a SMC trader, you are supposed to take your interest from. This is where you are now supposed to trade. So now pay attention. Your first trade should be, you see this level now where market shift happened. So you can look down, you will see the last order block. So this is where you are supposed to enter your buy limit from as if the first trade. You get, this is where you enter your buy limit from. This level that I just marked is just my psychological level. Let me just, it's my psychological level, because, and what I normally see is that market normally comes back, because it's just like head and shoulder. You get, this is a psychological level, so I just have to mark it out, because I normally know that market reacts a lot from zones like that. So in my past experience, that's what I normally see, so that's why I just mark it. So you get, but this is what you should know. This is the last low point. You get, so market has finally breaking that high, cause the market shift. You can call it market shift, or you call it change of character. So this was the last sell that leads to that change of character or market shift. So market have to pull back there before you continue to continue the buy. So if you watch the previous video, that was actually my explanation. But as you can see from this level, market bought all the way up here. But what happened again from this level? You can see that market dropped back down all the way back down to the entry point again. Now, why did this happen? I want to explain something. The reason this happened was because this market was unable to buy and continue buying. Like, market was tired, so it needs to come back down to grab more liquidity from the downside, so that he can be able to move to the upside, because eventually if this market was supposed to move to the upside. Sure, you understand? The market was supposed to move to the upside. So now what happened here was that market was buying, but market was just like, when a car is driving, when car is driving for a long time, the fuel will finish, so we have to look for a nearby filling station, understand, to get a fuel. So it's just like that. Is the same thing with market. So when market was buying here, it was unable to continue this buy, so it needs to come back down to fill itself. So that filling itself now is the liquidity. You need to grab liquidity. What are liquidities? All these people, like all these new traders now that don't know that that don't understand liquidity concept. So market will actually come back down to grab it, because before market. So what actually moves market? So there was a video I made, one of my videos. I said what actually moves market is liquidity. It's liquidity that actually moves market. So if market is able to, so this is where market was able to come back. If you can see from this point, market buy, this is what from this point, market buy all the way up, came back down to that same level. It react, it went to buy again, but you can see there was no liquid. This was where market came back down and create a double top. So this is where the liquidity now, the last liquidity point is. So what happened here is when market buy, he was unable to buy to continue, so he have to come back to grab that last liquidity. So when market grabbed this last liquidity point, that is when he was able to buy. So you can see from this point, it's from here now, market buy and break this high. So pay attention. What gave me the confirmation to enter for this second trade is what I want to explain right now. What gave me the confirmation was, see what happened after market drop back down. We actually know that if market is able to buy and break this high, it will actually go. It will go, because I know that the market was going to buy, because what after identifying this, they'll say, okay, this is market grabbing liquidity to be able to buy to the upside. I say, okay. So when market was able to buy from this point to buy and break this high, as you can see, so that was when I know that, okay, market shift again has happened. You get, so market have to just drop back down. You don't see that my psychological level, so I drew this psychological because I want market to drop back down here to form a kind of head and shoulder. But when I saw market dropping down, but it was unable to come back down here, I see market shooting up. So that is when I actually say, okay, this market is not, because I've actually seen two rejections here, and this is a bullish engulfing. You get, so I actually go in for the full, taking my TP at the highest. So it moved successfully, as you can see. So what happened here is when market buy, break this high, the reason this market came back down was so that it can be able to balance itself. Market cannot just move, and like market does not just buy on a straight line. What you need to understand is market goes up and down. So it's all about you knowing where it's going up to reach, and when it's coming down, where it's going to reach before it go up again. So what happened here was market break this high, you buy, then come back down to balance, because when market break a high like break of structure, it needs to balance itself. It needs to pull back. So it just pull back to balance itself. After balancing itself, it's buy. That was where he hit my face, take profits. He came back down, grabbed some, just came back down here to just take some liquidity here. Then he rally up again to, to the last high. So this trade was, I don't know, this trade was a very clean, it was very clean, idea, like setup. I dropped the signal. When I dropped it, market was there. So if you were able to, understand that, okay, this guy said market is going to buy, okay, let me at least try and see if I can able to, to mark out my entry. You cash out market, like you hit it. So if you enjoyed the video, or you want more, if you want personal tutorial, I do personal tutorial. So if you want that, my inbox is always open. Hit me up. I'm open for anything. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, I beg don't forget to do the necessary. Give me like, your likes is really, and your follow, it's highly appreciated, guys. So thank you. I love you guys. One love. Jay.